Hi Leo, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole and this is going to be a general reading for you. And there's no date on this reading, Leo, so I trust that when it comes into your free feed, it's meant for you at that time. And so I'm going to jump into your reading right away, Leo, with the Light Seers Tarot. And I'm going to start asking right away as what are you being asked to release that is no longer serving you? So let's have one card for Leo. And it looks like they want you to have the Wheel card in reverse for what you need to release. And then I want to know, in order to release this, oftentimes it involves us taking another step. But before we can do that, we have to heal something. There's something coming up from your shadow, from your childhood, your adolescence that needs healing because it's having a direct impact on this right now. And so let's have one card for you. Something from your shadow that needs healing. What's coming up? And this is your unconscious, Leo. You're not aware of it. It's something that you put away. See if maybe that's the card I'm supposed to pull right there. You have the Ten of Cups in reverse. And what guidance does the tarot have for you in relationship to the situation? This is a healing journey and this is a process. And so I'm not giving you a magic pill here, but I'm going to give you the focus as to what the tarot wants you to do in order to heal this so that you can release this right here. All right, so what is the guidance from the tarot? One card for that, please. One card. The guidance from the tarot. There we go. You have the Five of Wands in reverse. Okay, we're going to get some clarifiers, and I'm using the AE Weight Tarot of AE Weight for that. It's a Rider-Waite deck. So let's give me a couple cards for the Wheel in reverse. You have the the Nine of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is in reverse. Couple cards for the Ten of Cups. Ooh, okay, so the King of Swords, the Five of Wands in reverse. Interesting, it's coming out again right here in your shadow. And then you have the Seven of Cups. And they all wanted to come out. So there's a lot here going on in your shadow that wants to be heard. And then you have the Five of Wands in reverse. So let's have a couple cards for that. Tell me some more about this Five of Wands. Obviously something that you're going to focus on. Okay. Those were interesting how they both flipped up like that. I find it fascinating how some of these cards come out. So you have the Moon card and the Justice card in reverse underneath your Five of Wands. That's also in reverse. But let's begin with the Wheel card, which is in reverse. And that's what you're being asked to release that's no longer serving you right now. Looks like in an upright position, because this card's in reverse, but in upright position, it looks like she's got the world here right in her hands. She's on top of the world. Looks like everything's going good for her. Everything's great. This is in reverse for you. So you're not feeling quite on top of the world right now. In fact, I think it's quite the opposite, where you're feeling like nothing's going right. And maybe you've been trying for a while and you're just feeling like you just can't get ahead. You can't figure out what it is. And the Wheel is a card that's supposed to keep turning, right? And usually it's like, it's about like a major change of circumstance. And so it's about change in your life, but you're having difficulty making this change. It's like you've stopped the wheel and it's like, let me get off. I almost, there's so many times I've said that before. It's like you feel like you're on this hamster wheel and just let me get off, right? And maybe you just don't know how to, maybe it is a hamster wheel you're on and you're just going fast. Things are going too fast for you. Or it could be the opposite, or things you just feel like there's nothing happening in your life and you're just trying to make things work for you and they're just not. And so whatever it is just so I mean, the universe wants to make this wheel turn for you again, right? And this is why this is being asked. There's something here that needs to release, because these wheels, they're almost like, look at them, they're spinning. They're wanting to spin, right? But you've got this big one that's just blocking them all from just taking off. And this is what's happening with you. It's there, but you just can't get it and you can't see it. And I think underneath it here, this tells me a lot, because this is about releasing something. So this individual right here, it looks like he's woken up from a nightmare. And maybe you're having trouble with your sleep. I was one that, in my own healing journey of mine, that I had to go into a sleep clinic and figure out what and they told me I had sleep apnea and I had to go on the machine. Not on it anymore, but I did have to go on that for a year, a CPAP machine. And, I'm wondering if this individual is, maybe you're waking up at 3, 4 in the morning. You just don't get good sleep, right? You're always either up like this and you can't figure out why you can't fall asleep. And this card has changed its memory, has changed its meaning for me over time. And I finally figured it out that for me, it means that there's some kind of a memory that's coming up for you. There's a memory here around, you feeling stuck, you feeling like it's like you're not feeling on top of the world right now, like you're really stuck and you can't move forward, and it's like you don't have the gusto or the energy to move forward right now, and you're feeling really stuck. But there's a memory behind that, and I see this 8 of Pentacles in reverse here, and it's interesting because the 8 of Pentacles can often refer to in an upright position. It's like doing a job that we're passionate about, right? Doing something we're passionate about, and it's in reverse. So I'm wondering if this is in relation to maybe either not having a passion, not being passionate about anything in your life. It's like, why don't I have any interest? Why don't I know what to do? Or maybe you're stuck in a job where you're going, why am I in this job? Why do I need to stay in this job? Like, I'm just not, I get up every day, I'm doing the same thing. I'm putting all my time and effort into this job that I don't like. Not feeling like you're getting ahead in this job. So maybe you were passionate about this at the beginning, and now it's like, no, I've been doing this maybe for too long. I don't like it. So this could be something to do with your passion and, with a job. It's a general reading for you. So, you're going to figure out, from what I've been saying, what exactly is, are you being asked to release? But for sure, it's about, there's a memory. And so we need to release this memory, which means we need to remember what it is and we need to feel. And so let's look at what's coming up from your shadow that needs healing, because it's going to be related to this memory. And if you don't know what the memory is, and there's a big chance that you don't know what it is, you're going to get it when you start to feel the emotions first around it. You see, because you have the 10 of Cups right here. 10 of Cups in an upright position talks about this beautiful rainbow of cups. And cups refer to our emotions. And it means that, look at the love that's flowing from this card. And it flows in, we feel it, and it flows out. We're meant to do that with all our emotions. But I think when you were younger, you learned that your emotions were dangerous. And so you pushed them down, you put them away. And so you decided that you didn't feel. And I think that's what's happening right now with you, is that you're really struggling, and so you're just pushing everything down, and it's like, I hope this goes away one day. Maybe I'll figure out what this means for me one day. But in the meantime, there's a memory here coming up for you where you have to realize that it could have been your childhood. It could have been one incident, but there's like incidents maybe where you tried to show your emotions and you found out that they weren't a safe thing to do. And so what happens when we have things that happen to us when we're younger, trauma, things that are very hurtful, and if we're not supported and validated, and especially when it comes to our emotions around it, well, you're left as a kid or a teenager with these big emotions, grief, shame, fear, anger, and they're too big for you to handle. And so what happens is your ego self kicks in. And the king of my deck is the ego self. It's the masculine part of you. It's your mind. And so what it does is it pulls you out of your body when you're young. Because if you were to stay in your body when you were a child and you had these big emotions that you couldn't deal with, I don't think you would be able to live. They're just too big. We can't do it when we're younger. And so our ego self pulls us up in our head. And because there's no emotions in our head. They're all in our body. And so when you were younger, you learned very much that you were someone, because this is the sort of authenticity right here, where you believed that you were someone that was not allowed to use their emotions. They're dangerous. And so if you try to go to your emotions right now and try to get to this memory, you are blocked. Your ego self will block you and go, don't you remember what happened to you when you were younger, when you tried to use these emotions? Maybe you tried to use your anger and you got told, oh, don't you dare put that away, right? You got trouble, you had to sit in the corner, whatever happened to you. But this is what you believed when you were younger, that emotions were a dangerous thing. And you have the Five of Wands that's right beside it. And the Five of Wands is in reverse in an upright position. This wand card, this battle of these wands and comparing their wands, and it was just a real big battle to you. I call this my inner critic card. Your inner critic came out because when you are told you can't use your emotions, well, then you feel like you don't matter, right? That's your authentic self. You felt like, the authentic you couldn't come out anymore. Because it just wasn't safe to come out. And so what happened is you put that away. And now when you look in the mirror, you see this person that you think you are, right? And it's not you. It's your inner critic that continues to say all these things to you. And it's really what it is this, our inner critic that comes out is this internalized anger, right? It's this anger at yourself because you weren't allowed to use your anger and get mad at the people for not allowing you to use your emotions. And so now you've turned on yourself. You're just too young. There's no way you could turn on these people that were raising you. And so now you have this internal anger. And this is the card that prevents us from doing anything new. It keeps us small. And that's why you're remaining small right now, which means you don't try new things. It's like you're absolutely frozen right now because that's where you were when you were in your childhood. And the last card that comes in, and this doesn't just keep you small. When your ego self pulls you up out of your body and into your head so you don't feel these big emotions, this also happens to you. This individual is staring at all these emotions, these cups with these weird things coming out, right? And it's really cloudy. So it keeps you as a child quite cloudy and confused. That's called dissociation. And so as a child, you were very much prevented from using your emotions, and you were kept up in your head. When your ego pulls you up in your head, it's dissociation, right? And so you weren't in your body. And so, there's a real call for you. I can say that it's asking you to get back in your body and get out of your head. There's some real healing here. There's a healing around this memory maybe of why you weren't allowed to use your emotions. You got some anger here that needs to come out as well at somebody, right? And I ground my anger through my journal. I write my anger out at people. I journal it. And so what guidance does the tarot have for you in relation to this situation? Well, they want you to look at this Five of Wands. Here's the Five of Wands coming up again. They want you to look at that part of you, that real inner critic part, and want you to become aware of how much you are almost like, I'm going to say, your own worst enemy, where your ego self continues to repeat these things in your head, and listen to them. Listen to what you tell yourself, because your ego self will repeat the things that your abusers or these authority figures in your life said to you when you were younger to keep you small. What are you, a crybaby taking out your grief? You're crying all the time. Maybe you took out your anger and they called you bad. What are these things that made you, feel the shame? That's the shame that they gave you for. You were just trying to be you, taking out your emotions, right? And so the universe says it's time for you to become aware of how you're keeping yourself very, very small. What are you saying to yourself? Because, the Justice card here is coming in reverse. In an upright position, this is the card that's going to bring justice. Justice is, wants to bring a balance. I look at the balance thing as bringing the scale as bringing, let's bring your feminine side and your masculine side in balance, right? And it has nothing to do with gender, but this feminine quality, this beautiful feminine quality of feeling, our emotions, that's a feminine quality, that needs to come back, because the ego self, keeping you in your head, is the masculine side of you. And so there's a real imbalance here, and it's in reverse. There's a real imbalance here, and then it has this sort of authenticity, right? And we talked about the king holding on to it right here. This is your ego self. It's holding on to your authentic self. It's actually preventing you from getting to your authentic self, right? It's kind of like, I'm holding the sword up for you, but I'm continuing to fool you on who you really are. And so this card, there needs to be some justice. There needs to be balance brought out here. And your authentic self needs to come back. And so it's like, okay, so how do I do this? Well, you have the moon. You end with the moon card. And the moon card talks about, it's a beautiful feminine quality here. And so here's the feminine side. It ends with the feminine side here. The moon card talks about these things that are hidden, coming out of the water, right? When you see water, you see emotions, but the moon also talks about our intuition, that thing that's hidden from us, but we all have it. Beautiful feminine quality, our intuition. It's our inner knowing, our inner guidance. And so how do we get in touch with that? Well, you have to be in your body. You got to get back in your body to access your intuition. You cannot be intuitive if you're not in your body. You see, we talked a lot about you being up in your head, you being in your masculine. And now it's time to get back into your body, get yourself grounded, and really take some time to be still and feel, what is this? What's this memory coming up that I need to know about, where my emotions were shut down, or I wasn't allowed to feel? And that feeling, those emotions of you feeling, when you feel those, that's what's going to set this memory free, and that's what's going to set you free. And you're going to know where you need to go next. Leo, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. I know this is a very difficult journey, the healing journey, but it's the most important one. Take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.